I want to talk today about the one skill that I find people really struggle with. People are really good at being critical, judgmental, worrying, all of those things. And, when I have people come in a session, they can describe in great detail and talk for a long period of time, if I let them, about the bad experiences and the bad way that they are thinking about themselves or their connections in the world and being in the world. And when I teach people how to dissolve the past experiences and dissolve the limiting beliefs, we have to work on building a different way of thinking. Otherwise, the brain just goes back to what it's always done, and we keep the habits because the neural pathways are really well worn, and we'll just keep going back to that old way instead of that new way. It's like all of us in life will naturally, without thinking, walk the easier way rather than the hard way. We go up the steps or the path that's being made rather than go up the natural incline of, if we're walking in the bush, we naturally will use the shopping trolley rather than carry all of the things and make our body work more. The body always wants to find the easiest way, and same with the mind. And so if we have a repetition of limiting thoughts in ourselves, then our brain will keep going on those, what it's done most recently and most frequently. And so we really need to find ways to interrupt, stop, and that's what I teach people to do in my one-on-one work. We can do that quite quickly and have those skills for life then. But then we need to really have the skills to be able to build the new pathway and the new way of thinking, the new way of looking out on the world, the new way we label things, the new way we perceive things, and the new way that we talk to ourselves. So I thought what I would do is do lots of little videos on YouTube where I am giving examples about how I flip something in the day so that you can hear them, and hopefully they'll inspire you to discover how you can flip some of the judgments, some of your perceptions, and how you talk to yourself so that you can be more loving and kind to yourself the way you would to your best friend or your child most of the time, hopefully. Okay, so please hit subscribe and click on that bell so you get notified, because I'm going to be doing lots of regular lives on YouTube where I'm going to pick something little that's happened in my day and I'm going to share how I flipped it and how I milked it to get the most out of it, and how that's really helped me to be able to feel so much better and not be dependent on things going smoothly around me or the way I want them to or in the time speed that I want them to for me to feel good. Because for me, if you saw my set of 3 videos about the greatest freedom, that's the thing that I'm most passionate to teach people, how to be free and not have circumstances or people define how good you feel. So a big part of that is how we talk to ourselves and how we label what's going on and how we label how and who we are. And that takes practice and repetition. And I have clients a lot of the time go, when I model it for them in direct connection to what they're struggling with, and it just flows out of me, and they speak about, oh, I wish I could speak like that to myself. That would just feel so good. I love hearing you say those words. Well, you can do that for yourself. It takes practice, sure, but you can do it. And it has an incredible momentum of effect on your life, where at first it may take more time to create it, but it's like, say, learning to drive a car. First, you've got to think and concentrate on what you're doing. And then it gets so easy that it becomes unconscious competence, whereas before it was conscious competence. You had to work with it consciously. And then it becomes unconscious competence where you don't have to think about it. It just flows. Sometimes you don't even realize that you've crossed through the lights or stopped at the lights doing the right thing, but you're not thinking about it because those pathways are really well worn. Your system knows what to do and how to respond, and it just does it without thinking. Right now, most people are doing that with judgmental, limiting beliefs and attitudes about themselves and their choices in the world, and how they perceive what's going on in the world. And we need to flip that so that we have generative, creative, uplifting thoughts and feelings. And then what we focus on grows, and then new opportunities come into the world that we didn't even imagine could be possible for us. So you are worth this effort, and join me and we could do this together and just keep practicing. Send me any messages, but remember to click the bell so you're notified when the next live or video comes up, so that you can hear more and more examples, because the more examples you hear, the more it's going to help stay in your front of mind for you to see things differently when you're out and about in the world. And it's such a great thing to do when you're driving in the car, when you're cooking dinner, when you're going to the shops for shopping. There's so many opportunities when you've got that space to be able to think differently. So take those windows of opportunity. You are worth that effort so that you can feel better and be free no matter what's going on around you. So I look forward to sharing this with you, and you sharing with me your practice experiences and your questions, and I can always do other lives with your questions.